Shalom and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is a recording of a Shabbat sermon by Rabbi Rebecca Schatz.
Talia Rotter was one of the first kids I worked with at Temple Beth. I went back into my first year emails and saw the initial request from Alana to begin chatting with Talia. Quote, "She has some questions about God and Judaism, and we suggested that she chat with a rabbi about that." We met, do you even remember this? You do? Okay. We met for the first time on Zoom, and a week later, and we both learned just so much. Talia had written down a slew of questions, some that I was somewhat prepared for, and others that stumped me and made me excited for our next meeting. The best part of meeting with you, Talia, was knowing that important questions about important topics were not going to be ignored just because they were difficult. In fact, the conversations continued and the questions did not become easier, nor the understanding more clear. The questions became more complex, the understanding more complex, and therefore the attachment to religion and practice uniquely defined to you and your special journey. As we heard from your drash, those bricks and mature struggles lead to beautiful Torah, deeper connection, and provoking thought for all those involved in the conversation. As I was reflecting on this powerful relationship between Talia and Judaism, and therefore blessedly so, my relationship with Talia and her Torah, I began to think about this moment of the Israelites passing through the sea. We go from Mitzraim to the Midbar, and then eventually to the land of Israel. So we go from being Ivrim, Hebrews, to Avadim, slaves, to Bnei Israel, the people of Israel. If we translate each of these terms for our clan and each of the places we dwelled, each is a title of struggle and challenge. Mitzraim means from the straits. The Midbar was categorically a place of nothingness, desolate, not a desert, but just wilderness, without boundaries or substance. And Israel means one who struggles with God. However, in each of these places, we are brought closer to what it means to identify ourselves as not only a people or community, but a religion and a culture. In Mitzrayim, when we are slaves, we banded together to eventually get out of a tough situation. And as a group, we're not affected by the plagues because we had one another. In the Midbar, the wilderness or nothingness, we are given Torah, the ultimate parameters, rules to follow, ideas to question, etc. We become Bnei Israel, the people of Israel, as we happen upon the land where God has left the responsibility, the leadership, and the guidance into the hands of people. The people are not flawless or extra smart. They're just people who are interested in asking big questions, listening to rules, and wondering, how come, when something doesn't work for them. So from Mitzrayim to Israel, we don't have it easy, but we grow in our challenges, and we're forever branded with a name that means to struggle, to have holy struggles and ask holy questions. Talia, as you know, I'm leaving for Israel tonight, and meeting up with my honeymoon Israel participants who have been there since before Shabbat. When I was asked to do this trip back in October, I said no. I told them I had a bat mitzvah, and I couldn't miss being there for her. That was not my answer just because of my job. That was my answer because you are the bat mitzvah. Yes, for any student who I made a commitment to, I would see it all the way through. And, Talia, you are special in how you learn, how you execute skills that you prepare and master, and you are special in making all those around you wonder. Your mom wrote to me after our meeting, "I am so glad Talia is beginning to have a relationship with her rabbi." Talia, that could have gone both ways. I am so honored to be your rabbi, and I am so honored to be your student. When I eventually said yes to this trip because they told me I could come after the bat mitzvah, I thought about how I would explain this to my participants. Some of them have had B'nai Mitzvah, others have never been to one before. So how do I explain that a 12 or 13-year-old teen is the reason I'm staying back a few days? When our people crossed the sea, going from Mitzrayim into the Midbar, The walk through on dry land, leaving the Egyptians to drown behind them. And Moshe begins to sing. The Song of the Sea, which you read today, is why this Shabbat is called Shabbat Shirah. However, it is not that singing which is most recognized in the Parsha. It's the singing of Miriam. Why? Because she's a woman. She uses her voice, and according to the commentaries, she knew it was going to all work out, so she made and brought those timbrels before the splitting of the sea. Miriam, this strong, quiet, passionate sister, ends up being the leader from our straits of slavery into our journey to Torah. Moses gets us through, but Miriam is the one who leads with her heart, for her family, and for her community. When I finally met my Honeymoon Israel participants, I told them the reason I was meeting them late on the trip was because I had a special student who valued connection, and I valued that. Talia, you are like Miriam because you use your voice, but you are better than Miriam because you use your heart and your mind, not just to praise, but also to question. If we did not have Miriam, we would not have moved from Mitzraim to the Midbar and eventually to Israel. Our people are led best by those who struggle, challenge, and ask questions. So I told my participants that I had to be here because just as I hope they are to experience Israel with questions and wonder, that I had a student who does that with Torah and Judaism, and I wanted to be here when she became a bat mitzvah. Keep asking questions, Talia. Keep searching for your Judaism. Keep wondering about pieces that do not quite fit right. Keep pushing to make meaning and not just to excel at performing. Thank you for teaching me and allowing me to be on this journey with you as we navigate our own Mitzraim, Midbar, and Israel. Mazal tov.
You have been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast site or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Temple Beth Am Los Angeles, go to tbala.org.